momentarily. Stephen, we get good? All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we even get into introductions or anything, we always have to start our programs off with a prayer, but we're going to do it a little bit differently for you today, so I'm going to call my daughter Ansley up, and she's going to do a prayer for you, and we'll get some explanation afterwards.
My name is Ainsley Snow, and I'm proud to be a 2017-2020 National Powwow Princess. Shilong Bishalito Pama is Thank you. So that was Amazing Grace in my natural tongue, which is the Choctaw language. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Billy Hunt. I'm a member of the Lumpkin Tribe of North Carolina. With me I have my lovely wife, Miss Heather Hunt, my daughter, Miss Ansley, my son, Mr. Elias, who seems to be the arena director around here, making sure we're in line. I have my sister, Miss Heather Oxenine, and my brother-in-law, Mr. John Oxenine. My lovely wife is a member of the Mowa Choctaw, I had to swallow. Member of the Mowa Choctaw Indians, and so is my daughter as well. My brother-in-law and my sister, of course, are Lumpy. And the little guy, following traditional-wise, he's going to follow his mother's bloodline, so he'd be a member of the Mowa Choctaw as well. We got asked to bring you guys a demonstration of all different powwow dances. What we'll be showing you today is essentially Pan-Indianism, and it's derived of many different tribes. These dances do belong to specific tribes as well. They do have a lot of meaning. Maybe we'll be able to debunk a few of the misconceptions of a lot of dancing, a lot of singing that you hear. By this being an older crowd, we can get a little bit more in depth and a little bit more high in the explaining versus if we were at a grade school. So I guess with that said, we'll go ahead and call my daughter up first and go ahead and get her out of the way. But I do want to talk a little bit about her. She did introduce herself as a powwow princess, and she won the competition almost 2 years now back in Indiana, and is a powwow princess, and she holds it for 3 years. And they do several different things it's over a matter of a couple days, but they have an interview process, they have a dance process, the whole nine. But to give you an idea, my daughter's 10 years old, she was 9 at the time, and she actually went up against a sophomore that was in college and a senior that was in high school, beat them both out. So it's a very, very big accomplishment. She's been an A honor student since she's been in school. She's a member of the Honor Society. She's not only does that, she does cheerleading competitions as well. So if we're not at a powwow, we're at a cheerleading competition all over the United States. Actually, we're going to be back in Atlanta in 2 weeks for a cheer competition for her. So we're very proud of her accomplishment, and it seems that anything that she picks up, she just excels with it. The style of dance that she's going to be dancing for you all today is a women's fancy dance. Now, there are a couple different stories how it came to be. The one that I'm going to tell to you today that you probably won't hear a lot about, it actually derived back in the 60s, about the early 60s or so it's not that old actually. When our men come back from World War II, and they really didn't have a way to express some of the things that they felt, some of the things that they seen in war. And a guy by the name of Gus McDonald back in Oklahoma, Carnegie, Oklahoma. He took two bustles and slapped them on his back, and he had the drum beat really, really fast on the songs, and it pretty much anything goes as long as you're on beat. Guys were doing flips, they were doing cartwheels. It was just very colorful, very flamboyant. Well, the women started dancing with the guys as well. The women actually had the bustles on their backs as well. Well, what was happening, the women were beating out the men, because women's lower body is a lot stronger than a man's. So they actually put the women in their own category. The women lost the bustles and took a shawl and put it around her back. So if you ever notice when she dances, she has a lot of high kicks. And if you ever get to see Men's Fancy, they have those high kicks too. Some say that it derives back from the can-can dancers in the late 40s and early 50s. You know, they're on each other's shoulders kicking out. So some also say that it represents the horse when he's striking out, bent over striking out. So there's really a lot of meanings to a lot of the dances that you're going to see. Now with Women's Fancy, it's very upbeat, very fast. You see a lot of twists and turns. You really don't see her bending forward, bending back too much, but it's making that shawl dance, and her footwork is what's really important. So when you watch her dance, some say it kind of emulates a butterfly in a sense. There's a different story behind that one as well. But again, this is something that's very popular with our younger youth because they can just get out there and roll with it. To a first-timer, you really won't know what to look at, but what you wanted to take a look at was how the person danced, how they progressed as the song progressed as well. Whether the speed picked up, did their dance moves pick up? Did they stop on beat? Now, there's many different songs, and we'll get into more elaboration on that later, but that's one of the most important things, that you actually stop on beat. And what we've done, she got a short song actually. It's about twice as long as what you just heard. Next. Yeah, yes you did. She just actually had a flu part. Next we'd like to call my lovely sister-in-law, or my lovely sister, not sister-in-law. Yeah, we'll get into that story a little bit later. There's a lot of history between me and this guy right here. Good and bad. Next is my lovely sister, Heather. Not to confuse my lovely wife, Heather. She has a women's jingle dress on. Now this dress and dance originates from the Ojibwe people up in the upper parts of Michigan, lower parts of Canada. A lot of the Ojibwe and Cree are some of the same people. But the story behind this was actually a healing dance. And again, there's 4 or 5 different stories. The one that I do like to tell is there was a young girl that was very sick in a village, and no medicine, no prayers or anything could really heal her. And her uncle, or grandfather, in different ways of the story, but he had a dream one night that if he made this dress for her and put her on it and put her in the arena, and she'd dance around the arena and she'd be healed. So he gets to start on this dress and makes this dress. Now, what you see hanging from the dress are actually snuff can lids that have been rolled. The original dress were actually made from elk teeth. And they say that it only had 7 rows of elk teeth, and it was made to represent the 7 different original clans of the Ojibwe people. But he put his elk teeth on her or on the dress, put the dress on his knees, and she had to be helped around the arena as they started singing the songs. And the second time she went through, she almost walked on her own. The third time she was walking around on her own. The fourth time through, she started dancing on her own. And the way that she danced was what they said the Ojibwe people, that's how they dance, mimicking. Now, as these dances evolve, they kind of branch off in 2 different styles. You have what a lot of people refer to as old style and contemporary style. My sister will be dancing old style for you, but what you notice is it's not as flashy. It's mostly congruent, nice and neat when she dances. Her feet won't come off the ground as much as it did for Ansley's, but it's more of an upper body motion, and she's making those jingles dance. Now, she's making those jingles dance. Oh no, making those jingles dance. But it gives a certain sound, and you can actually hear these ladies dancing. They try and get it on beat with the songs and the drum that you hear going on. Some say that it's nice and appealing and healing, like rain falling on a tin roof. You know, it's just nice and relaxing. A lot of people get a lot more different things from them. But this style of dance, one of the major beliefs behind it is that once you start dancing this as an adult, that you never dance any other style, that you're essentially married to this style of dance. But again, as things evolve over time, you have girls that they'll dance each one of the styles. And for our younger, they're really not frowned upon because they're still trying to learn, trying to feel where they fit in. But when she dances, again, I want you to watch her upper body and her feet movement as well, but it's not as elaborate as what Ansley's was. Production presentation. I've actually had my sister dancing with us, so it's kind of a special moment for us all. Next, I'd love to call up my lovely wife. And I do want to share a little bit of information about this lovely woman. Today's actually our 3-year anniversary of being married. And yes, I got permission to come to this beforehand. And so I said, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yes." So, my lovely wife has a dress specific for her tribe. and it has very many different components to it. So follow along with me if you can. First, I want to start off with the number of layers that she has on. She typically has 4 layers of clothing on, represents the 4 different seasons. If you notice on her dress, on the outlining, you see a lot of diamonds, and you also see what look like X's. Well, the diamonds are representative of the diamondback rattlesnake. The reason why the Choctaw hold the diamondback rattlesnake so dear, they emulate that snake, meaning if you ever hear that rattle, most of the time with rattlesnakes, you never hear the rattle, but you know it's there. So with their tribe representing that is that if they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. So with a rattle, the rattlesnake's letting you know they're getting ready to bite you. So the Choctaw believe that, hey, if we say we're going to do something or put a plan in place, we're going to do it. Trust me, Choctaw women do that. Just trust me. Next, you want to see around her neck, got many different, and you'd be able to see if you ever look them online, especially the Choctaw dresses. That you see many different color schemes, many different color designs, even with the headband that's in her back as well, even down to the baskets and the fans that they carry, even the shawls that they carry. One of the things once you look at too, the ribbons on her back. Back in the older days, you actually earned your ribbons for different achievements, different points in your life, whether it was women who were becoming of age or something that significantly that you've done within the tribe or within your life. It's represented in one of these ribbons. If you notice, again, these outfits can be as elaborate as possible, or they can be as plain as possible, even down to her moccasins. You know, they have a little thin line of beading on it. Some have them fully beaded. The fan that she carries is an eagle-tail fan. I've seen some ladies with different types, whether if it's a bald or a golden eagle, even different types of hawks as well. And again, with the baskets, some of the designs that they wear can be representative of the area that they're from, or the family that they're from, or the community as well. But the style of dance that this fits in is Southern women's traditional. And with Southern women's traditional style of dancing, it's held in very high regard as far as a lot of the dances, because it represents our mothers, it represents our blood keepers, it represents these women that dance very dignified. So it's a lot slower dance than the prior to that you've seen. Well, what I want you to watch is her whole body, and it almost moves in unison, almost like it's swaying up and down. If you can imagine, picture yourself trying to walk on eggshells on top of water. What you'd have to do to keep your balance, to keep everything in one motion, trying to dance. Yeah. I'm sorry with my little guy over. This is actually maybe his first or second presentation, but it's his first one, and he's actually been mobile on so. And so I apologize if he's messing anything up for anyone.
We teach them to calm out anyway, but she's always been like that too until they're old enough to understand to behave and stuff.
Because we want them to be comfortable around people. Now, a lot of these dances, we do get an opportunity to travel all across the United States. I do want to brag on my wife a little bit. Before she had her son, we went to Durant, Oklahoma, and they had sort of it's the creme de la creme for Choctaw dresses, and they actually got our own category. And I'm happy to say that my wife took first place that year. So, next one, call my outstanding brother-in-law out. And this is actually a good treat for me because typically he's the one that's speaking, but he's like, nah, you put this one together, you speak, so I get to pick on him today. Mr. John Oxenine works for our tribe back home, Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. He's actually a newly housing inspector as well. So before that, he worked with the youth for 13, 14 years, somewhere in there. He was very instrumental in getting the Boys and Girls Club started there. He and I and a couple other people actually got our annual powwow really kicked up there as well. I was there for a little bit over 10 years now. I've been gone for 3 now. And I moved to Alabama, and I'm actually working for the Porch Bandit Creek Indians there, which is about an hour east from her tribe. So I've been very fortunate to be able to blossom there and be able to kind of spread my wings. But John is kind of went a whole different left field as far as work-wise, and I'm proud of that he's doing that. He's putting his big boy pants on now. So, but give you a little history behind John. Yeah, I'm going to tell this story. I most definitely am.
Don't leave everything here.
John and I grew up. He's a little bit older than I am. He was at a rival school than I was. I was at Parnell Sweat High School, which is in Pembroke, North Carolina. And he was 15 miles north in this place called Lumberton, North Carolina. And he went to Lumberton Senior High, Lumberton, Parnell, big rival schools. Me and this guy could not stand each other. We basically came from a basketball court. He played basketball there, and I played basketball at Parnell. We couldn't stand one another. Made things so bad, he's trying to take my girlfriend at the time. I mean, showed up at the girls' house and all. I mean, it was bad. But, the things got pretty bad between us. But as irony would have it, we were actually playing a pickup game at University of North Carolina at Pembroke one summer, and we ran the court all day on the same team. And me and John just got to know one another a little bit better. And it's like, ever since then, we've been almost 2 peas in a pod. Until he decided that he wanted to marry my sister. But, and I told John, I was like, are you sure? I was like, 'cause now she's the female version of me. So, are you sure? So it's happy to say they've been married for 7 years now. 7? Is it 7? They've been together 7, married for 5. So he's not turned up missing yet. So, she's had several opportunities with the hurricanes coming through, so he's been fortunate. But John dances men's grass, and it's representative of the yarn that's hanging off his outfit. Now, this style of dance is very popular with our younger guys because as long as it's on beat, you can pretty much implement any style of dance. A lot of the younger guys like to implement a lot of the modern day dances. Whether if it's the stanky leg, I'll see some guys out there incorporate doing the Dougie with it. I mean, it's anything goes. But the thing is, you have to be balanced, meaning whatever you do with your left, you got to do with your right. So if you take 2 steps this way, guess what? You're going to take 2 steps that way. Now, some of you guys don't hold true to some of the old school rules to it. They just get way left field out there with it. But a lot of your more prominent dancers, they still have that balance to them. Now, the style of dance, it's kind of upbeat, but there's several different song styles or beat styles, even for some of the dances that you've seen prior to that go along with it. We're just kind of giving you the regular run-of-the-mill, because there's some specialty songs and specialty dances that go with them as well. But when these guys dance, they're going to change levels. They're going to have fancy footwork. They're going to have upper body movements, even with their head and their arms and all. But if you can imagine some tall waygrass swaying in the wind out in the middle of a prairie, that's what it represents. There are several different tribes that lay claim to this style of dance. Most of them do share the same story, that these guys were the elite ones in the tribe, or the elite ones that were in the villages or communities. The elite warriors or the elite hunters, sort of like the special forces, if you can think of it that way. And these guys and their families all lived together, and they were typically a society. And we'll talk a bit more about society as